Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2570 1. The Mystery of Mars 1. How about we go to the moon again? Zhou Kuer suggested, her eyes sparkling. She took Zhang Yi's arm and analyzed. The closest planet to us right now is the moon, and a round trip would only take a day or two. Besides, we have connections with the moon people, so we should be able to negotiate. Zhang Yi smiled helplessly. I don't think it's going to work. Resources, especially the extremely precious ones we want, are probably something they're unwilling to give away. The moon is not very big, and it is divided between two major Lunarian empires. They know that an even greater disaster will soon befall them, so who would be willing to share their precious resources? Moreover, Zhang Yi and his team need a huge amount of resources to develop technology. Mars, Yang Xinxin said softly. Mars resources may be our only option. Mars. Fatty Sue stood up from the sofa next to him and said with some surprise, You mean we're going to Mars to get resources? Yang Xinxin nodded. She had just heard Zhang Yi speak when she started looking up information. Mars is currently only 78 million kilometers away from Earth. We can upgrade the engines and travel there aboard the Dreamer spacecraft. It will take less than a month to reach it. According to astronomers' exploration, Mars may contain the resources we need, especially rare metals and energy minerals. Luke Heron's eyes immediately lit up as she said, That's right. If there are exploitable mineral deposits on Mars, we can definitely establish a resource base there and solve our current resource problem. The Tsang Yuan clan's technology is indeed impressive. With the Dreamer having flown to the moon once, Zhang Yi already has experience with space travel and is not so worried. But he also knew that the trip to Mars would not be easy. It is a planet filled with countless imaginations and rumors. Some people once believed that life existed on Mars. Because the environment there is most similar to Earth, for many years, netizens have tirelessly searched for signs of life in photos sent back from Mars. 20 years ago, Colombia's richest man built a spaceship and flew to Mars. Zhang Yi rubbed his fingers together and slowly said, Mars is indeed relatively close to us, so we can go there to explore its resources. The previous claims about life on Mars now seem more likely to be about an ancient civilization. We need to proceed with caution. In addition, 20 years ago, Colombian billionaire Elon Freeman led a team of volunteers to Mars, but there has been no news of them since. We must thoroughly investigate the intelligence on Mars before proceeding with caution. Yang Xinxin frowned slightly. If there really is an underground civilization on Mars, then we must be fully prepared. Freeman once led a team to explore it, and perhaps they encountered danger. Zhang Yi nodded. I need to get in touch with the Pupil Organization. Freeman used to be a member of the Pupil Organization, so maybe they know more about the situation. Without any delay, Zhang Yi quickly dialed the number of Milwin Blatt, a member of the Pupil Organization and known as the King's Underworld. After the video call connected, Blatt's face appeared on the screen. His expression was accompanied by a polite smile. Oh, it's my dear Knight of Illusion, Lord Chaos. It's rare for you to contact me first. May I ask what brings you here? Mr. Blatt, I have a few questions about Mars. Zhang Yi asked directly. After Elon Freeman and his team went to Mars 20 years ago, did they still have contact with the Pupil Organization? Blatt was somewhat surprised. He seemed not to have expected that Zhang Yi would ask him not about ancient civilizations on Earth, but about planets in the universe. Blatt's eyes flickered slightly, but he didn't hide anything. Freeman is a very self-centered person. His initial intention in joining the Pupil Organization was only to use us. Rather, we never really cooperated at all. He did go missing after going to Mars, and we haven't received any further news about him. Do you have any more information about the underground civilization on Mars? Although Zhang Yi was somewhat disappointed, he still continued to ask. Blatt said in a low voice, The existence of a Martian underground civilization is not entirely a secret. There are even indications that their technology is very advanced, perhaps even comparable to some advanced civilizations on Earth. Freeman's disappearance may be related to this underground civilization. As you know, even though our technology is advanced enough for space travel, we can only travel short distances. Reaching the moon is the limit. Everyone knew that Elon Freeman's Mars mission was a one-way trip with no return. Therefore, our pupil organization also has no further intelligence about Mars. Zhang Yi felt somewhat regretful, but still said, "Then, regarding Elon Freeman's Mars landing plan, I need some more detailed information. Those are all state secrets. Outsiders have no way of knowing. But Zhang Yi believes the Tong organization will definitely have a way to get them. Just some intelligence. I'll pass it on to you soon." "No." Blatt paused for a moment, seemingly considering how to phrase it. "Also, I must remind you, beware of the Holy See. They recently reached a cooperation agreement with an ancient civilization in the European region, and taking advantage of the world's turmoil, they have gathered a large number of believers." Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes. The Holy See? After the lunar incident, Zhang Yi had no goodwill towards the Holy See. Those guys actually betrayed 6 generations and chose to unseal Samuel. That's insane. If Pope Alexander X hadn't died, we really would have demanded an explanation from the Vatican regarding this matter. Your Excellency Blatter, as the sworn enemy of the righteous church, you must know their secrets well. Could you tell me what makes them so terrifying? Blatt's expression turned serious. The goal of the Holy See is not simply the expansion of power. There is a powerful force behind them, and they even plan to use the power of all mankind to complete some kind of sacrifice. We have a guess, although there is no direct evidence, but it is very likely to be true. The Lord's Church does not worship the Creator, but rather the Drucker. Zhang Yi's heart raced. This news filled him with an unprecedented sense of crisis. Sacrifice all of humanity. Awaken the Druckers? They've gone mad. Blatt's tone was icy. The Holy See may be planning to awaken the power of ancient demon gods through the sacrifice of all mankind in order to achieve their unknown purposes. And their goal will definitely completely change the world order. Zhang Yi fell silent, a series of dangerous thoughts rapidly surfacing in his mind. The Holy See is not only a religious organization, but also a dark force that collaborates with ancient civilizations. Compared to this, the underground civilizations on Mars are probably just the tip of the iceberg. I understand, Blatt. Zhang Yi's tone was serious. I will be more careful, but we have a more pressing issue right now. Please send over the information we need. As for other matters, we can discuss them later. After hanging up the call, Zhang Yi turned to the crowd with a determined look in his eyes. We will head to Mars to establish a new resource base. As for the Holy See, we must also be more vigilant against them. Lu Karen, Yang Xinxin, and the others exchanged glances, all understanding that Zhang Yi had made his decision. Despite the difficulties ahead, this is their best option at the moment. Become powerful. Once you possess sufficient power, all conspiracies, schemes, and dangerous enemies will vanish like clouds. Chapter 2572, The Mystery of Mars 2. The Great Migration of the Huashu Kingdom began. The 6 regions are like 6 strong arms, simultaneously pulling inwards and moving closer to the Central Plains region. The transportation lines, supply lines, and migration routes of the entire continent were stitched back to the heart, one stitch at a time, as if by someone using extremely fine silver needles. The residence and industrial areas on the periphery were uprooted, packaged, and pushed inward in batches. Large, cold-resistant transport aircraft, the F-37, skimmed low over the frozen plains, carrying crowds and equipment like swarms of ants. The dismantled heavy machine tools, energy refining chambers, medical stations, incubators, and ecological warehouses were all escorted inland. There were no wails on the streets, nor the panicked screams of the early apocalypse a few years ago. Everyone's faces were quiet. No one asked, "Why are you leaving?" and no one complained, "This is our home." Everyone knows that now is not the time to talk about nostalgia. Now is the time to talk about survival. This evacuation was not accompanied by any pushing or shoving or military boots. It was more of a proactive, collective retreat. The Huashu Kingdom is putting itself into a shell. Wrap the muscles inwards and protect the blood vessels towards the heart. The 6 major regions are moving towards the Central Plains, with Tianhai City as the core. That will be our new central region. Give up the outer perimeter and save your life. This phrase was repeated many times on the military channel. At the front of the relocation queue, some junior commanders responsible for reassuring the troops were speaking into a loudspeaker. Don't worry, there will be new cities later. Old houses can be rebuilt, but if you lose your life, you lose everything. It was a crude remark, but nobody found it offensive. On the contrary, it sounds like a sense of security that makes people feel grounded. At the same time, the alien tribes surrounding the Huashu Kingdom also witnessed this scene. After all, with such a large-scale migration, it would be difficult not to see it. They had originally been thinking about how to balance their relationship with the Huashu Kingdom, now that they were embedded in its territory. Now, Zhang Yi has actually voluntarily given up almost all of the territory in the outer areas, although in this high-tech era, the size of territory no longer has much significance. But it is clear that not every ancient civilization was technologically advanced. For example, the Fang Wolf clan and the Zhu Rong clan, in order to strengthen themselves, gradually degenerated their technology to avoid over-reliance on it, and eventually became like the Song Yuan clan, who were half human and half machine. Therefore, they were very satisfied with Huashu Kingdom's initiative to back down. The ironclad clan's patrol scouts stood on a high ground smoothed by the icy winds, overlooking the migration route of the Huashu Kingdom. Those humans are withdrawing from the edge, voluntarily leaving behind a large uninhabited buffer zone. They exchanged views through their respective means of communication. They are shrinking their territory. They're making way for us. It seems that the 6 generations are still quite sensible. Hush, don't boast. This 6th-generation kingdom is very strong. They are no weaker than us, especially their leader, Chaos. We need to feel their sincerity, so for the time being, don't disturb their migration. The celestial clan's wind pillar swept across the sky, emitting a low sonic wave, as if conveying a message. They knew they did not have border sovereignty, so they retreated first. In this way, the next phase of friction can be avoided. The surrounding small and medium-sized ethnic groups also breathed a sigh of relief. Many of them did not actually want to fight a direct battle with the Huashu Kingdom, especially after witnessing Zhang Yi's strength firsthand and seeing Ling's existence. They preferred to plunder resources from other human kingdoms or to raid ancient civilizations that were weaker than themselves. The fact that Huashu Kingdom is now proactively shrinking its territory is, in their view, a tacit understanding of you take a step back and I won't interfere. At least on the surface, the conflict will be temporarily suppressed. In the short term, no one wants to break through this veil. Let's maintain this state. Let's talk about it after the dust of the era has settled. The leader of the Fang Wolf tribe gave this order. In Tianhai City, Zhang Yi did not inspect the site of the large-scale relocation. He delegated the work to the executive level in each region. He was sitting in the basement conference room of the villa at that moment. The projection screen shone with a cold white light, and the information covering the entire wall was scrolling rapidly. Lu Karen and Li Yangyang are helping to organize the data. Yang Xinxin leaned against the table with her arms crossed, watching quietly. The title on the screen is simple: Elon Freeman Mars Program Archives Collection. This document was just sent to me by Blatter. It consists of internal records from the pupil organization from 20 years ago, plus some deep space observation data that were only intercepted and not made public. These are absolutely impossible to obtain through normal channels. The video file opened to reveal an old video with slightly compressed image quality. The man in the picture has slightly curly hair, a very short beard, a thin face, but his eyes are frighteningly bright. He stood at the center of a metal section, with a row of cryogenic chambers gleaming blue behind him. He was smiling. That kind of laughter wasn't happiness, it was fervor. It's like someone throwing themselves into a fire and still sincerely believing that the flames are purifying the world. I won't wait for the end of the world. I will send the spark of humanity away ahead of time. You only truly begin to take responsibility for civilization when you realize that Earth is unreliable. We must have a second base, a second mother nest. And I will become the creator god of a new human civilization. This person is Elon Freeman, Colombia's richest man 20 years ago, a rocket fanatic, and a Martian colonization zealot. He is also a well-known semi-collaborator in the Pupil organization, always treating others as tools and always following his own schedule. In his proposal, one word was highlighted and appeared repeatedly: Mars origin point. Yang Xinshin circled this part and enlarged it. She pointed her fingertips in the air, her obsidian-like eyes gleaming brightly. The landing site he chose is called the Mars Origin. It's not a romantic name that was chosen on the spur of the moment. It's the origin in a geological sense. Zhang Yi raised his chin and said with great interest, "Explain it in detail." Yang Xinshin opened a 3D topographic map. It was a geological structure with radial patterns. It resembles a huge impact crater, but it is not simply a meteorite crater. Like the folds of a mountain range, yet converging downwards in an unusual way. In the topographic profile, the underground texture of this area collapses towards the center, like a huge tenon, with its core pulled out, leaving an empty cavity. She pointed to that area and said slowly, "The underground density in this area is abnormal. The conventional distribution of igneous rocks does not hold true. Therefore, there is a high probability of the existence of high-energy veins, or in other words, energy parent deposits." The term origin is not a geographical designation, but an energy designation. For Freeman, this is the first stop in colonizing Mars. Because once they land, they are destined not to return, and energy is a necessary condition if they want to establish a permanent base. Here we end today's chapter. I hope you liked it. Kindly do also subscribe to my gaming channel. I have to Fina a way to survive. Thanks.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises.